You know what? We had some. I think Greg had some block calls today. I don't know what that was about, but my phone has not rang, so thank goodness. I won't be changing my number this year.
Last year, did you have to?
No. I doubt they'll be calling me. If they're going to be calling anybody, I'm sure there's a few other people they have on their list. They'll be after Greg, I'm sure.
Cory, as you look at y'all's defense this year, have you guys been maybe a little more aggressive just in what blitzing, pressures, what you're doing maybe this year than last year?
Yeah. We know that the guys we face this year, the teams that had played them before, we saw, pressure. When they got pressure in their face, they weren't as, productive as they were when they could sit back there all day. And we faced guys with big arms this year. And so the more time they have to sit back there and make their reads, they can make plays all day. So we knew going into this season that we were going to have to be getting in the backfield all year and affecting quarterbacks. So I think it's definitely shown this season that we've definitely blitzed more, gotten after guys. And we've been successful at it, and we're going to keep doing it.
At the same time, I was going to say, it seems like the last couple of weeks, guys have moved a little bit more on y'all and stuff.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's what you got to expect. You got guys that are going to be shifting tight ends, motioning, moving anybody they can just to get us moving a second slower. We bring so much pressure, and they're going to be hard counting it, seeing what our blitzes are, making calls, and we got checks for everything too. Our defense is pretty complex. It's got defense within itself, and we're going to have to get used to that because it's not going to change down the road. It's going to be the same way all year.
Has the fact that you're more experienced now in this system and it's as complex as it is, has that allowed Coach to dial up a few more things because there are more people out there that are experienced?
Oh, definitely. You see those younger guys out there struggling to get some of the basic stuff, and you remember when those days when you were the same way, and now you look at it and it's just second nature to you. So now they can add stuff. Now they can change the way we do stuff, make calls, run blitzes, which makes it an even more dynamic defense. And, guys out there that have been in the system for a couple years now, it makes it a lot easier for the coaches to do that kind of stuff. They don't have to worry about us getting it wrong. They can just throw it in and go out there and practice, and we execute it and then have it for the game Saturday.
There was a play against Tennessee, and I know Crompton completed the pass, but where Darius was running with the tight end there late. Yeah. I know that probably isn't supposed to be happening with what you were doing, but still the fact that you have a DN that can do that.
Yeah. You know what? He had him pretty much covered up. If he would have just not looked back for the ball, he might have broken up the pass. We do have plays where defensive ends cover guys. Usually it's not tight ends running up the field. It's usually more of running backs and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? You got to give him credit. He looked pretty athletic out there. I don't know how many other 310-pound guys can move like he does, and I was pretty impressed.
What do you see from them when you watch them on film, because particularly the offensive line, because it was an issue for them at the beginning of the season, but they seem to be gelling a little bit?
Yeah, they got a couple new guys in. They're missing Herman from last year. He was a big part of their offensive line, a big staple for them. They got a couple guys that have been 3-year starters, though, and I'm sure that they've got the younger guys, the guys who stepped in, going. And they might have been struggling early on, but it looks like they've done pretty well the last couple games, getting their quarterback protection and blocking for Scott. He's a great running back. He's probably one of the best ones we've faced this year, no doubt. And they're doing things very well at this point. And we're going to have to be ready to, get our defensive line going, and because they're going to be throwing some different stuff at us, and we got to get pressure and we got to stop the run because, they're going to run the ball no matter what. And they believe their guys can block us, and we're going to have to go out there and prove them wrong.
Cory, the division is hinged on this game pretty much your whole career. Let's talk about the stakes involved in this game. Is it something you almost now anticipate every year that there's going to be a lot riding on this one?
Yeah, it usually is. It's a big game. Like Coach Saban said earlier on the week, though, we got to go out and focus on playing our best game. He's emphasized that to us all week. Everybody knows it's a big game, but we can't focus on that, get around, sucked up in the hype. It's always going to be a big game. It's never going to change, but we got to realize if we want to do what we want to do, that we got to realize there's stuff that needs to get done during practice for us to go out and play our best game. But, my first year here, we were 10-0, and we had to go play LSU and lost. And
overtime game here, right?
Yeah, lost to them and then lost to Auburn. and went to the Cotton Bowl that year. And it's, the next 2 years were a different story, but then after that, every year it's been come down to LSU, and it's been a big game. It always lives up to the hype. Each team wants it just as badly as the other, and they got the same stuff riding as we do. So it's not any different for either team. It's just going to be a matter of who goes out there and executes and, like Coach Saban says, plays their best game.
LSU lost 2 games after losing to y'all last year, and obviously the year before y'all had a shot at the West. That was in 2007, and y'all came unglued after losing that game. Does the air go out of the sails for the loser of this one?
You want to say it doesn't at the level that we compete at, but I'm sure, losing a big game like this, when you do buy into what people are saying and how much people are building this game up, that can make it worse. If you listen to what everybody has to say about, this determines your season, this is your game, then after a loss like that, I guess it would, pop your bubble, I guess, going into the next few games after that. And, you can't look at it like, because there's still a lot of football left to play after this game. We still got 3 games left, and a lot can happen. You see it every week, top 5 teams getting knocked off, top 10 teams getting knocked off. It can happen to anybody. So we can't worry about, just this game. We still got a lot of football left to go. But this is the most important game because it's the next one. And it means a lot to us. And it always will because it's a division opponent.
Is this a fun game to play in? Because they're coming right at you and you're coming right back at them.
Yeah, you expect that. You want somebody's best. You want to be tested. You want to get out there and, have somebody challenge you and be able to rise up to the occasion. Last year was a lot of fun playing down there. Their fans made it hard for us, and, we ended up coming out with a victory. And our fans are going to do the same for them this year. It's always going to be flipping like that, and it's something to look forward to because it's such an intense rivalry, and there's always usually a pretty good bit riding on it.
Can you see their quarterback just getting better with each game, or is it just a matter of giving him the time that he's had the last couple of games?
He definitely has improved. He's a young guy, but he's definitely formed into being their quarterback. He's taken leadership of their team and done a lot of smart things over the last few weeks and played great ball for them. They were the one loss they had. He played well for them and kept them in it pretty close. And he's done a lot of good things, and he can move. He's got great athletic ability and makes great throws, and they do a lot of things to give him the ball to make decisions, and shows a lot of trust in him as for being such a young guy. And he's definitely gotten a lot better over the year, and I'm sure he will continue to improve too.
Have y'all gotten back settled again at linebacker after those couple of weeks where you weren't real sure what was going on? It seems like everything's been pretty stable over the last.
Yeah, it has. It's like I said earlier when this first started happening. It goes in and out. It could change all the time. It could change one day to the other. But as for right now, yeah, I feel like we got a good combination going, and it's worked well for us these last few weeks. And Nico's done a great job stepping up, and we just got to keep getting better.
Tell me how he's gotten better.
I think he understands a lot of the calls a lot better now. That's a big part. Is Roe doesn't have to tell him everything. He understands you can understand the basic part of the defense, but then the small things that'll catch you off guard that you will forget about because you don't see it all the time. He's done a lot better of picking those up and not making the same mental mistakes over and over again.
Thanks.
Yep.
Is practice a little more lively or intense this week after you had a couple of days, or can you notice a difference?
Yeah, you can definitely tell everybody's got their legs back underneath them. We came out, after a weekend off, first day back's a little, maybe not as much pop as you would like to have in the pads, but we came out and got the mental part of practice done really well, and we did some hitting, and today was a lot better. It's definitely a nice thing to have 3 days off, and get a little rest in your body.
I'm going to shift gears one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Julio,
mm-hmm.
What kind of blocker is he? Is he as effective as he looks like?
Of course. You see it on the film when we come back on Sundays or Mondays and watch the film on him, and he's making pancake blocks on safeties or linebackers that are breaking Mark and Trent and all those guys free. What else can you ask out of a guy to just take a guy completely out of the play? And he's driving people off the field into the sidelines, and he's a physical guy, and he's one of the bigger receivers that we have, and he definitely plays as physical as anybody that I've ever seen at that position.